In
No, ma'am.
today's session, let us continue the discussion about the introduction of the OFC, optical fiber communication. In the previous session, we have completed the historical development, how the OFC got developed, starting from fire signals and all. Then, this coaxial cables were invented and they were more prominent. After that, this OFC cables were more prominent, and their capacity of providing higher bandwidth. Okay, that is the major attraction of this OFC. Okay, and we have discussed about the general system that you can see on the screen. There is a general communication block diagram as well as the optical fiber communication. The difference, not much. The only thing is in the modulation technique. Okay, the modulation part, what generally show as modulator and demodulator, here we make use of optical source and the detector. More commonly used optical source is the laser. So the invention of laser was a boom in the this as a receiver. Receiver photodiodes were there. Okay, this is about the general block diagram. As an example, there is one optical fiber link is given here, wherein the optical source used is a laser, okay, semiconductor laser source, and the detector used is avalanche photodiode, APD, as you say. Okay, that is the detector. Okay, figure shows the block diagram. This is one example of OFC given. Okay, wherein the input in the digital form, the information, it is encoded. I think you have studied already the in ITC, information theory and coding, wherein you know how this information is coded. Okay, entropy and those things, it, how the encoding process is done. Okay, that part is done here, this particular thing. Then it is communicated over the channel, that is the channel is optical fiber cable. Okay, then what will happen here, this is your optical source. What is actually happening in the optical fiber communication, you're using optics, that is light as a carrier, as a medium for communication. And the cable which you use, it is made up of a transparent material, that is glass or plastic polymer, okay, which will be transparent in nature, uh, which will facilitate this light to pass through. It will act as a waveguide for that light wave. Okay, so laser drive circuit, you can see it. The laser drive circuit, it will modulate. This particular part is modulation. Transmitter, this is your receiver side. It will modulate the intensity of this laser. Okay, the whatever the light is coming from the laser, its intensity. Okay, it will be modulated. Okay, it will modulate the intensity of the semiconductor laser, whatever light is coming, with the encoded digital signal, that is information modulation. Okay, wherein the carrier is your light wave, that is coming from the laser, and it is modulated according to your information. Okay, and hence a digital optical signal, it is launched, okay, through the laser, okay, into the optical fiber cable. This is your medium. Then at the receiving side, what is happening, the avalanche photodiode, it is a detector, it is used here. In detail how the detector is working is not given here. Just briefly they have mentioned that there is a detector used at the receiver side. It is followed by the amplifier at the end. Here amplifier and equalizer both are used in order to provide the gain as well as the signal processing and the noise bandwidth reduction. Equalizer is used for noise bandwidth reduction and filtering. And finally, the signal is whatever obtained after this amplifier stage, that will be decoded, encoded at the transmitter side, decoded at the receiver side to get the original information that is existing. Fine. So this is one example of optical fiber communication given. Okay. Today, let us see some of the advantages that are associated with optical fiber communication. As a communication using optical carrier wave, That is nothing but optical fiber communication. Okay, carrier wave is what? Light. That is acting as a carrier. It is guided along the glass fiber. So whatever fiber you are using, the cable you are using, it is acting as a waveguide to guide that wave to follow a certain path. Okay, it has got certain features. Let's see what are the advantages. Very first advantage associated with this optical fiber communication is the enormous potential bandwidth. That's why this is the most important advantage of optical fiber communication, that is bandwidth, the capacity. The optical carrier frequency, it is for OFCTs in the range 10 to the power of 13 to 10 to the power of 16. Okay, so it is giving a greater potential bandwidth than the coaxial cable system. So obviously coaxial cable system will be able to give the frequency range, whatever the capacity, it is limited. So but however, the optical fibers, they are able to give you the frequency, the capacity, the bandwidth availability will be in the range of 10 to the power of 13 to 10 to the power of 16 hertz. First advantage. Second, small size and weight. So even in your houses for your as a decorative item, you might have seen how the optical fibers are there, how the light will be glowing at the tip of that fiber. So some showpiece you might have seen. So you can see the size of the fiber, the cable. It will be very small. Its diameter will be so small, not even greater than the diameter of a human hair. You can imagine how small it is. Okay, and they are light in weight. Okay, compared to the copper cables, that is coaxial cables, which you conventionally use, copper conductors. Okay, so the lightweight and the small size, that is the second advantage. The third advantage is electrical isolation. You know that optical fibers, they are made from either glass material or a plastic material. Both are good insulators, right? So separately, you don't require another electrical isolation, because in case of coaxial cables and all, what is happening inside, you'll be using the conductor. Okay, that is your main part, but outer you need to have a shield, right? Just to have to avoid the shocks and any these what malfunctionings. You should have some shielding, the protecting layer, as a insulating layer. You should, the covering should be there. So likewise, for optical fibers, it is of no need, because the material with which they are made of, the glass or the plastic, they themselves are good insulators. So they don't separately require insulation things. So the whatever the interfacing problems which are associated in case of coaxial cables, because many times there have some interface problems associated with coaxial cables, and even sparking or short circuits, which are very common in case of other kinds of cables that are not existing in optical fibers. This is the third advantage. Fourth one, immunity to interference and crosstalk. You know what is a crosstalk? Many times you might have experienced when you go for calling, okay, over the phone, landlines I'm talking about, most of the times through coaxial cables earlier days. Whenever you dial a specific number, due to some malfunctioning of something happens, and the call gets connected to other person, or sometimes tapping can happen. The conversation between two people can be overheard by another person. So those things can happen in case of coaxial cable. That is very easy there. But however, this is more immune. Optical fibers, they are more immune to the interference and the crosstalks. Okay, they optical fibers, they form a dielectric waveguide. Okay, they act as a waveguide. Okay, and hence they are free from the electromagnetic interferences. Two types of interferences they have mentioned here, electromagnetic and radio frequency. Okay. Hence, the operation of the optical fiber communication system, it is unaffected by the transmission through any noisy environment. So, if the environment is electrically noisy, the communication may get affected in case of conventional cables. However, in case of optical fibers, it is least affected. Okay. And obviously, optical fiber cables, they don't require separate insulation, the shielding for in order to avoid the interferences, because they themselves are good insulators. Optical fiber cable, it is not susceptible to lightning strikes, right? This happens even in case of coaxial cables. It is more common, I guess. Lightning strikes, they are more common during rainy season specifically. Okay. If used overhead rather than the underground. ये जो आपके जो KPTCL wires हैं, ये जो भी हैं, they are all laid overhead, right? हवा में रहते हैं. But nowadays system थोड़ा बहुत change हो रहा है, underground cables पे आ रहे हैं. Optical fiber cables तो ज्यादातर underground ही रहते हैं. But even though if you want to use optical fiber overhead, not like underground laying, even though if you use that, this lightning strikes is not at all a problem in case of optical fiber. Next, the next advantage is signal security. As I said, while in case of a telephone calling, when you're talking to another person, crosstalks are very common. Even tapping is very common. The information leakage is possible there. Okay, due to the use of conventional cables. So the signal security is not guaranteed there. So anybody can hear. Okay. So in case of optical fibers, the light from the optical fibers, it does not radiate significantly, and hence they provide high degree of signal security. So security is more in case of optical fibers rather than the conventional cables. So any attempt to take or tap a message or information, to take out the message signal transmitted over the optical fibers, it can be detected very easily, it seems. Okay, even I don't know what is the mechanism behind it, how they detect it. If anybody wants to tap or try to take the information illegally, it can be detected easily. So this feature will make the use of optical fiber more prominent in case of military applications and even banking, because there the data security plays a very important role. So in both the sectors, optical fiber communication, the use of that is very much prominent because of the signal security. It provides high degree of security. The next advantage is low transmission loss. Optical fiber cables, they exhibit very low attenuation or transmission loss. While dealing with the historical development, I had mentioned when initially optical fiber cables were built, the attenuation loss was found to be 1000 decibels per kilometers, which was very, very, very high compared to the coaxial cables. Coaxial cables ka I think some 10 tha. Let me just check out. I forgot the number.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
10
Yes, it is 10 dB. For coaxial cable, the attenuation loss was 10 dB, but initially when optical fibers were built, the attenuation loss was 1000. But in the span of 10 years, there were so many improvements, the losses got reduced to this 5 dB per kilometer, which was lesser than the coaxial cables. So here now presently, okay, so now it is how much currently? The attenuation losses are 0.15, not even 5. It is much lesser than that, 0.15 decibels per kilometer, which is very, very less compared to the copper cables, which is 10 dB per kilometers. Okay. So because of this, what happens? Attenuation loss come hai. For For example, if you have 2 points, okay, there has to be a communication between these two. Assume that this distance is in kilometers. Suppose if you use coaxial, the conventional coaxial cables or any copper wires, conductors, then after some distance, you need to use repeaters and amplifiers, because of the attenuation and other losses, what will happen, the signal strength or the signal quality degrades. In order to have that, the signal boosting, we go for repeaters and amplifiers in between at particular distances. Okay, many in kilometers it is, you imagine, I don't know how many number of repeaters and amplifiers are required. But as the attenuation is less, this number, the number of repeaters or amplifiers which are used in between the communication links, this number will be reduced because of the less attenuation loss. That's what is written here. This facilitates the implementation of communication links with extremely wide optical repeater amplifier spacing. Spacing is wide. It means what? Spacing wide hai means आप कम से कम number में repeater and amplifier को use करोगे. So number of repeaters and amplifiers utilized will be less. So even in turn, it will reduce the system cost and the complexity. Okay. So this is the next advantage. The next one is how you pronounce it, I don't know. Let me pronounce it in my way. Ruggedness. Okay, ruggedness and flexibility. Flexibility, you know it. What is flexible? It can move around. And ruggedness is, I think, adapting probably without any damage. Okay. So, optical fibers are made of glass or plastic. So they are manufactured with a very high tensile strength. Uska strength inbuilt itna rahega. Even though they are made of glass, you don't think that, when you bend that optical fiber, it will break. No, because they are manufactured with high tensile strengths. Because of this, you are able, even though they are made of glass or plastic polymer, those fibers, they are able to bend. Okay, they are able to bend, or you can even twist them, those things. So it will make the optical fiber more flexible. Okay, you can move it, because whenever you are taking a source and the destination, 2 points, it is not necessary that always 2 points are in straight line. Okay, you will get many bends, many left turn, right turn, many things, because the path may be of any shape, where in order to reach the particular destination, you have to move around. So you may come across many twists. Okay, the path may be curved, left, right, anything. So under such circumstances, the optical fiber cable has to be bent or twisted. Many times this happens. So optical fibers are more flexible, and they are compact and extremely rugged. The next one, you can even see the meaning of ruggedness, what it is. Can anybody tell me? It is ruggedness. Okay, ruggedness, rugged means very strongly made. Yes, now I remember. Ruggedness is nothing but you can handle it, without any care. Roughly can handle it, so it won't make any damage to that. So rough handling, ruggedness is rough handling. So many times when you take the parcels, it will be written handle with care. No, it is not like that for optical fibers. The next one. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. The next advantage is system reliability and ease of maintenance. because there are very less attenuation losses in case of optical fibers, the requirement of definitely number of repeaters and amplifiers will be reduced. We don't require as many number of repeaters and amplifiers as you may use in case of conventional conductors, if you use those conventional cables. So at least usse to kam hi rahega. So because of this, the system cost will be reduced, and even the maintenance will also be reduced. What do you mean by reliability? Reliable means you can have a faith on that. So the system reliability, it is generally more in case of optical fiber uh, in comparison with the conventional cables. You can see here the predicted lifetime of optical cable is around 20 to 30 years. So एक बार डाल दो और 20 साल के लिए भूल जाओ, something like that. So very less reduced maintenance for optical fiber cables. And the next one is the potential low cost. Again, it is the same thing, as it is made of glass, optical fibers or even plastics, which is very abundantly available in the nature. Not glass is directly not available, sand is available in the nature, right? Because glass is made of sand. Hence, in comparison with the copper cables, in order to extract copper, lots of processing is required, which is very costly. But for glass, again, no doubt, even to prepare glass also you require a processing. But as the material available in order to prepare a glass, that is sand, which is abundantly available as compared to copper. You just check the quantity of the copper available in the, in the form of a raw material itself, how much it is available in the nature. Optical fibers, they offer potential for low cost line communication. So these are some 9 advantages which I have listed for optical fiber communication. So obviously जब advantages हैं तो थोड़े बहुत disadvantages भी रहेंगे. Okay, let us just see what are the disadvantages of optical fiber communication. Very first thing is high investment cost. This is not throughout, because till now we are now moreover focusing on low cost. But how it is investment cost? Initially, when you are setting up the things first time, the initial cost of installation for optical fibers is high. One time investment, what we say. So initially you have to pay. So the investment initially is high. And the next one is difficulty in splicing. So what do you mean by splicing? Splicing is joining two things together, connecting the things. So when you are going for, as I said, you cannot have one single optical fiber between 100 kilometers. If 2 points are 100 kilometers apart, in order to join 2 points, you cannot have a 100-kilometer long cable at once. You need to have joints in between, then only you can connect them. So this joining is difficult. Why it is difficult? Because the optical fiber size, the diameter is very small. So it is very difficult. Somewhat it is complex to connect, to join two cables, because the joining should be such that the care should be taken so as to no losses should occur at those joints. So that is the important challenge here. So splicing, difficulty in splicing. The third one, complex testing procedure. So an optical fiber, as the optical fibers are they are very small, so testing procedures are quite complex because of their size. No doubt these are disadvantages are not major. The next one, lack of bandwidth demand. Even though optical fiber communication, it is providing you higher bandwidth in terahertz also, right? You have seen in the initials, I think, let me just show you what was the speed. I forgot. Yeah, something 10 gigabytes per gigabits per second. Okay, it is tera. No doubt it is tera. It is offering tera earlier and beyond. I have written here in the historical development. So in terabits per second, they are offering optical fiber communication. Even though the speed is so high, they are providing high bandwidth capacity, but there are very few users who have such bigger requirements. It means जो हम डेटा यूज करते हैं उतना completely सबके लिए usable नहीं है. So only there are few users who require high bandwidth capacities, but otherwise अगर आप at lower data rates, the optical fiber links they cost more rather than using the conventional links. So high data rate is they provide high data, but not all data is used by everybody. That is the thing, lack of bandwidth demand. Not everybody uses that much. Next one, radiation darkening. Okay, radiation darkening. As the optical glass, that is fiber, it can cause radiation darkening. Radiation darkening means whenever it is exposed to some, the nuclear radiation, whatever the atoms, the molecules are there inside that, electrons, protons, those things inside an atom, they will have this. They will, they get excited. Their energy levels increases in such a way that the glass may, burst बोलते हैं ना, crack हो जाएगा. That is called radiation darkening. Crack हो जाएगा glass. So if that is the case, we can't use these optical fibers in case of nuclear environments where hazardous radiations will come out, and because of these radiations, this radiation darkening may happen and the fiber may break. So these are some 4-5 disadvantages I have listed. Okay, any doubts in this? Simple listing and you need to explain it, and I have even listed, you can see it, some of the applications of optical fiber communication. It may not be a part of your syllabus, but still you should know what are there. The public network applications, that is in telecommunication, probably in some subsystems like trunk network, those in internal, the networking, what are there. Probably you might have visited BSNL also as a part of the internship, you might be knowing it better. So how the subsystems are designed using optical fiber cables. Military applications in case of aircrafts, ships and tanks, these optical fiber cable communication is used. Okay, don't think that in aircrafts how optical fiber is used. So optical fiber communication I'm talking about. Even consumer applications, probably as a decorative piece, automotive electronics. Here nowadays most of the research is happening. Automotive electronics. Okay, even electric vehicles are coming out. So the more of the research is focused on to this particular industry. Even industrial applications, it has optical sensor systems and even layer. So it is mainly on optical fiber itself. These are some of the applications. So what all we have covered till now? We have seen the historical development, the general system, advantages of optical fiber communication. So we have to move on to optical fiber waveguides and ray theory transmission. So ray theory, in ray theory you will be studying about, hope you know about this. Let me write it here. TIR, total internal reflection, acceptance angle, then skew rays. These were all the basic things in optics. Okay, skew rays, RAYS. So these are the basics you will study in ray theory transmission. Okay, before going to this ray theory, okay, the next concept, you should know some basic laws. Okay, I have here have some slides. I will be sharing these slides, just go through them. the basic optical laws and definitions before moving to ray theory. Okay, you should know about these. What are these? You have already studied about them. Reflection. So you know what is a reflection? Whenever a ray of light, it travels from a, from one medium to the other medium. I think you have studied in this way. Whenever a light travels from one medium to the other medium, and both media which you use, they both are having different densities, right? So if this is the case, then there will be a bouncing of the wave takes place. What is that bouncing? That too at the interface of the two medium. This, whatever sentence, the definition is there, that can be viewed here. See, there is a ray, incident wave, what we call light incident. This is your medium, which is this is your interface, one medium of some density A, some density B. Okay, when light travels, it will hit here at this medium, the interface. The light will get bent, it will bounce, so it will change its direction. This is called reflection. Okay, I think angle of reflection, all these things. So this is the basic thing. Now, what is the refraction? Whenever a ray of light passes from one medium to the another medium, again two mediums are having different densities. So what will happen here in case of refraction? Whenever it is moving, there are two conditions here. If it is moving from less denser medium to more denser medium, then wave is refracted, that is bent towards the normal. If this is your normal, okay, iska density less hai, lesser medium, and this is your more. Okay, this is less, this is more. Then this ray, this light, it will be bent near to the normal. And what is the second condition? Whenever the light travels with the speed, different speed at different mediums, from more denser medium to lesser denser medium, if that is the case, then what will happen? It will be, the light will be bent away from the normal. So there are two cases here. This is about the refraction. And next, diffraction. What is diffraction or diffraction? When the ray of light travels, and if it hits any obstacle, this is happening, this happens even in case of your, radio waves or any wave which will hit the buildings. Okay, whenever a communication is taking place, if any obstacle comes in between, the ray changes its direction and slightly towards the obstacle. See here, you can see this is an incident wave. It will change. Hit hoga yahan pe, and it will change its direction. It will not be in the same direction. This is diffraction. And diffraction, or the amount of bending which occurs at the interface of the two materials. Here, I'm talking about this particular part. The amount of bending that is occurring at the interface of the two mediums, that we call it, at the interface of different densities, it is expressed in terms of refractive indices. And how you define it? It is the ratio of velocity of light in the medium. That is n, I think something like this. Sometimes you use eta as the refractive index. Speed of light in the air, speed of light in the medium. And there is a table here wherein the refractive indices for different media is listed. You can see it. For air, it is 1.02. For vacuum, it is 1, perfect 1. And for different values, for different media, you have different refractive indices. One more important, which you have already studied, please go through it, Snell's law. What Snell's law says, just now I have explained it to you, whether the ray bends towards the normal or away from the normal, okay, through which it is about refraction only. Whenever how light ray reacts when it meets the interface of two media with the different indexes of refraction. If there are two mediums, and phi1 and phi2 are the angle of incidence and angle of refraction. From the Snell's law, there exists a relationship between, you can see here, n1 sine phi1 is equal to n2 sine phi2, or n1 by n2 is equal to sine phi2 by sine phi1. This is your incident wave. This is your normal. A reflected wave, refracted wave towards the normal, phi2 and phi1. So this is the relationship between refractive indices and the angle of incidence and the angle of refraction. So this is about the Snell's law. Hope these basics are clear to you. Please go through them. Reflection, refraction, what is refractive index, and Snell's law. These are the four things you should know. At least slightly you should know how they are defined. Okay. So next we will be moving to the